What's going on, everybody? Today we have a brand new video. Today we're going to be talking about the latest chapter of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, chapter 16, and we have a lot to get into. So make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into the video. So the chapter starts off with a flashback. We see both Kashin Koji and Boruto, and Kashin Koji is just explaining to Boruto how time-space ninjutsu works and how it's basically a form of flying, and how all Otsutsukis were able to use this set ability, and that he even brings up Boruto being able to use it at a time. Of course, he's referring to when Boruto would enter his karma state and how he would be able to use like portal awakenings and stuff like that. So Kashin Koji just tells Boruto that he's was able to use it at a time, but he's not it like in base or at will, because of course he's not using his karma. So basically, to kind of get around that issue, Kashin Koji is actually going to teach Boruto how to use Flying Raijin, or a variant of it. And he further explains that Minato Namikaze, Boruto's grandfather, was able to use the same ability, and also he was able to master it. So Kashin Koji is basically teaching Boruto like the history and the knowledge behind Flying Raijin and how Boruto would be able to use it. And he even states that through his prescience ability, or 10 directions Shinjutsu, he knows Boruto will awaken this ability and master it in 6 years, which is absolutely insane. And so he further explains the Flying Raijin and how it basically allows one to teleport into to different locations. But he said that the one that Boruto learns in the future is different, because he's able to use any metal object or ninja tool as a medium in teleporting. So he can basically use a kunai, a shuriken, or even a sword. He can use any metal object as a medium for teleportation. And we see that Boruto is like kind of like amazed at this whole idea. But then we see that Kashin Koji says that there is a little bit of an issue, is that Boruto is only able to use this ability at a fixed range. So he can't really use it at like a further distance, because it kind of would be a little bit more difficult. Because, for example, he gives us an instance where there are like two shurikens, one north, one south. Boruto would kind of find it difficult to decipher between which shuriken he will arrive at, because they're both the same in shape, look, and color. But in order to like get over that problem, Boruto ends up coming up with an idea where they create like these pins, these shapes, just like objects and symbols, which would allow Boruto to travel to further distances because of their distinct shape and look. And it would be easier for Boruto to imagine what the shapes look like in order to teleport to those further distances and ranges. And then we see Boruto calling himself a genius, asking if he's a genius for creating this like technique. But then Kashin Koji says that it's just natural, that it was just something he was able to do. And then Kashin Koji warns Boruto that knowledge is knowledge, and that knowledge alone wouldn't help him, and that he would have to train tremendously to awaken and master this ability. And then we see Boruto already kind of use the Flying Raijin to teleport up up on the trees. And he's basically telling Kashin Koji that he's up for the task, that he has a lot to do. So he's not going to back down from this training regimen. Then we cut to them talking again in the lair. And then we see that Boruto is a little bit suspicious of why Kashin Koji doesn't let people know of like the future possibilities and outcomes that are like existent, and that they should just let people know, because it would be much more of a help, But Kashin Koji says that even though that would be ideal, that it's overall not the best decision, because one, if they let people know on what is going on in the future, the essence of time will change. And that's basically not good, because if people know about the future, their actions towards it will be different, and it will be drastically it will just drastically change a lot of things. So Kashin Koji says that telling people is the best choice right now. And he says that they're basically singularity, that to where they're able to like help aid the time and help guide people to the best future possibility through the shadows. So they can't do it like with people. They only got to do it on their own. They're basically on their own solo journey in aiding the future for the best future possible. And then he says that Boruto is also a singularity because he knows of this information as well. And then he even tells Boruto that he knows that Ada will be watching and listening in on this conversation, which is absolutely insane, making her a singularity of fate as well. And then we cut to Ada as we see that she was actually listening in on this conversation through her Senrigan. And we see that she cuts back, and it seems as if Sarada asked her to use her Senrigan to, spy on Boruto or see what he's doing. But of course, Ada lies to her, telling her that Boruto is just not saying anything and he's not participating just to keep Boruto safe. And then it seems that Sarada is pretty adamant and she's pretty upset at the fact that Boruto isn't really relying on their help, because since he has allies, she believes that Boruto should at least lean on them a little bit and, kind of let them in on what is going on so that so that they can help him. But, yeah, Sarada is just not having it. She's pretty upset. But then we see Sumire actually be the sense of reason for the first time, where she's basically telling Sarada that it's for the best that Boruto isn't really letting us know on what is going on because he's trying to protect us and stuff like that. So Sumire has a different stance on this situation, and she believes that what Boruto is doing is the best, because she even brings up the fact that during that fight against Hidari, Boruto, of course, was holding back a lot against the Shinjus because of them being around. Boruto couldn't go all out. So she kind of sees it as if it's kind of because of them that Boruto is in danger all the time. And she's basically saying that it's best for them to be not like allow different information, because that's why they're safe. Because it kind of makes sense, because Sumire and Sarada have openly voiced their agreements with the Leaf in the village due to omnipotence and how they believe Boruto is like not a villain. But obviously, because of the fact that they're immune and stuff like that, they're like, they have their own consciousness and stuff like that. And it's because of the intel that they don't have that they're still living, still being able to protest, to do whatever the hell they're doing. So it's actually thanks to Boruto that, they're okay, because they don't have any intel from him that could, make them be dangerous to the village and stuff like that. I hope you guys understand what I'm talking about. Then we get to like the most controversial part of the chapter, because it seems as if Sumire is beyond livid at, Sarada, because, Sarada for a long time has known that Sumire has liked Boruto and has had a crush on him. So basically, Sumire brings up when Sarada went in to hug Boruto that it kind of made her feel a certain type of way, because it's as if Sarada was disregarding her feelings for, Boruto. But Sarada didn't really know. She just was acting on impulse, seeing her old teammate. But Sumire just sees it in a completely different light, and she's pretty upset at that. And, Sarada, she's just clueless about it. She's still beyond shocked at this reaction from her. And then we see Sumire trying to she's just trying to figure things out as she goes, because it's like she doesn't understand what is going on, and that she does understand why Sarada reacted that way, but she's just not happy that she did, because she likes Boruto and stuff like that. And so Sumire is basically upset at Sarada, and she's just trying to make sense of this whole situation, and she just runs away. And I forget to mention Ada's being like, she's just enjoying the show. Like, she's like the audience right now. She's like, oh my gosh, conflict, continue. This is amazing. Ada's just like, she's just enjoying the show. And yeah, man, Sumire runs away from the situation because, she just doesn't know what is going on. But Sarada actually calls her class rep. And this is where Sumire snapped, because she's like, damn, is that all you guys know me as, class rep? And I can kind of see her point across. I can kind of see her point, because when they're calling her class rep, there's a form of disconnect between them. Because as if you're a friend with the person, you will refer to them as their name. You will address them by their name, not their title. So of course, them consistently and constantly calling her class rep, even Boruto himself, it's sort of a disconnect between her and them, which I can completely understand. So yeah, Sumire snaps out when she hears Sarada calling her that class rep. And then we cut to the daimyo and the elders, and we know that the daimyo, he now knows about Shikamaru helping Boruto escape, because now he's caught whim of the situation, and he's really upset that this happened, because they finally got the person of interest in question, but of course they lost him again. So yeah, the daimyo, the feudal lord, is pretty upset, but the elders try to reason with him, telling him that they're going to capture Boruto and that there is nothing to worry about and stuff like that. Then obviously we cut to and Ada. We see that she asks Shikamaru to meet up with her because she just wants to talk to him about the current events that's going on. But Shikamaru is a little bit distasteful of this idea because he doesn't want to meet up with her in person because of her enchanting ability and stuff like that, which still has an effect on him. But Ada says that she's doing this and she's meeting this way so that the sensory unit doesn't listen in on their conversation. And we see Ada, she actually brings up the fact of what's going on within the hidden sand village and how Gara has been put in a dome, how he's being protected right now, and how there was a new Shinju created from Shinki. And then we see that Shikamaru was just pretty shocked about this whole situation. And he already said that he already sent out he already sent shinobis to this hidden sand village to address that. Then we see that it tells Shikamaru that she could no longer spy in real time on the Shinjus because it seems as if since Mamushi, the bug Shinju, since he was able to interrupt her and actually see through her from the Senrigan, she just is pretty annoyed by that situation. So she just doesn't want to spy on the Shinju any longer. And Shikamaru understands, saying that it is pretty difficult to do that and that, yeah, she could just chill on spying on people in real time, especially the Shinjus, which is pretty interesting. I never really see people bring that up of how the bug Shinju is really able to connect with, Ada via the Senrigan, even though the other Shinjus can't. So there's some mysterious power to this bug clone than we initially suspected, which is really interesting. Then we see Ada, she's telling Shikamaru about Boruto. She knows that Shikamaru helped Boruto escape. But Shikamaru is, of course, denying these allegations because he just doesn't want, obviously people to know about what he did. But Ada obviously knows, and she tells Shikamaru to stop playing dumb with her because she already knows what happened. And then, obviously, she says that she doesn't want to give Boruto any more trouble or problems, and that's why she chose not to spy on him, because Boruto is already going through enough as is, so she doesn't want to put any more stress on him. And then she actually comes clean to Shikamaru about, Kawaki and Boruto working together, and she feels that it's best for them to shoulder the burden of defeating the Shinjus alone because they're the only people that can stand a chance against them. You see Shikamaru asks Ada if Boruto has an accomplice that he's working with because it's been stated many times and rumors going around that Boruto has a mystery accomplice that is working alongside him, and he even confirms his suspicion of it being Kashin Koji, which is absolutely insane that Shikamaru knows because Shikamaru is smart. Then we see one of Kashin Koji's toads pop up from Ada's hair or whatever. He was probably within Ada's clothing or whatever. And we see that the toad is able to, kind of commend Shikamaru for his cleverness and perceptiveness of being able to put two and two together. And he basically warns Shikamaru of the dangers of Jura and how basically that Himawari should stay within the leaf and that she should not leave because if she does, she will die because Jura now has his eyes on her. So they shouldn't accept Jura in any way. And he even warns Shikamaru to treat Jura like an enemy if he ever intends to come back to the village. They should have countermeasures and they should have plans at hand. But of course, he obviously lets them know as well that they should not fight Jura because if they do, they will lose. That they should just avoid any path of Jura. So that's why they shouldn't piss him off or stuff like that. Because if they do piss him off, the leaf is basically screwed. And so the toad is basically just letting Shikamaru know on the current, going on the current happenings of the Shinju and stuff like that. And he's even commending Shikamaru for helping Boruto escape and that he has his gratitude for that and that he should kind of do things his own way and listen to his heart. And yeah, the toad just goes away. And then we see Ada kind of be impacted by the toad's message of following your heart. And Then we cut to Sumire, and she's basically regretting her reaction and how she behaved towards Sarada, because she probably felt like it wasn't the right time and moment. Then we cut to Sarada, Konohamaru, and Mitsuki in the Hidden Sand Village, and you know that they're looking badass as ever. We see Sarada with the headband, which is the ninja headband, which is so cool, and then we see that yeah, they are greeted by the two Sand Village ninjas, who are like the adopted children of Gaara, and we see that they're like pleased to work with Konohamaru and the rest of Team 7. And then we see that they're already spying, or they're like scanning through the village and seeing if they can spot the Shinjus and stuff like that. And then we see that Yodo, the female, the girl ninja, talks to Sarada about her having a different vibe or aura to her, where she seems like she likes a boy. And we just get that little like wholesome moment between them, which is pretty cool. And then Konohamaru already sets his eyes on the Shinju, which was, of course, Ryu and Matsuri. Yeah, that's her name, Matsuri. And then we see that they've already taken out one of Kashin Koji's toads. Could it be the toad that was already in the Hidden Sand Village, or the one that just spoke to Shikamaru? I'm pretty confused, but I think it would be the toad that was already in the Hidden Sand Village. So yeah, man, they're getting closer to Boruto and Kashin Koji's hideout, and they say that this could lead to Boruto and stuff like that, and that's how the chapter ends. So yeah, man, this chapter was amazing. This chapter was really good. It was definitely a setup chapter, a build-up chapter, because we got a lot of information and we got a lot of detail that we needed. We got a lot of questions answered about, for example, like you know, how Boruto learned his flying Raijin, how the daimyos and feudal lords feel about what Shikamaru did, and we're just getting a lot of closure for like the previous events that happened from each chapter ago, which is absolutely insane, which is so cool. I'm just hoping that Boruto pulls up to the Hidden Sand Village as well, because we're gonna get Team 7 again, the OG Team 7, and of course I hope he comes. I'm pretty sure he will be there. You know what I'm saying? Because Boruto has to fight, you know, Shinki, because they kind of have some history there. You know what I'm saying? And he also has some history to Matsuri because of Moegi. So I believe Boruto will pull up to the village to help Team 7 and the Hidden Sand Ninja, which I'm pretty excited to see, man. And yeah, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the chapter. Make sure you guys comment down below on how y'all felt about the chapter. And yeah, man, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.